So this is going to be another video that the doomsters are going to absolutely hate. So if you're one of those people, you better switch off now. So what we're talking about is the announcement that's been all over the mainstream media today about sausage fingers. And he's got it, yeah? The thing that begins with C. So does he have it? What do you think? I remember growing up in Rochdale and being told by my dad and my teachers at school, some of the better ones, don't believe everything you read in the newspapers. Dare say kids aren't taught that anymore. Quite the opposite, in fact. So is there a chance it could be true? Well, I guess like a tiny, very remote chance, but I'm not buying it, and many other people aren't buying it either. I think what they wanted from us was like a Lady Di style outpouring of grief and concern. So what has the psyop produced? Well, nothing really, apart from a whole load of abuse from the mainstream. You know, people are just basically calling it out all over the place. So, you know, I'm sure you've seen these things yourself, and other people have commented on it. So you know that they're developing these new Britney Spears to treat this particular ELF, spelt with an E, ELF problem. Even though that everyone knows that this particular ELF problem has got nothing to do with a virus. So, you know, it's not normally, you know, you normally have vaccines, don't you? Britney Spears for viruses. But anyway, so basically people are saying, yeah, what's going to happen is that Sausage Fingers is going to have a new I'm going to have to be really careful here. I'd like to say something here, but he's going to have a new sheep dip, isn't he? He's going to have a new sheep dip, especially for this thing that he's allegedly suffering from. And then people are saying, oh yeah, and then what will happen then is that he'll make a miracle recovery, and these new Britney Spears will be hailed, won't they, from all quarters as being a miracle cure. And then the other thing as well is that the Britney Spears, for that one, they've actually caused a big increase in the thing that Sausage Fingers allegedly has. So there's going to be a demand for these new types of Britney Spears that Chaz is almost certainly going to have, or the mainstream will say he's going to have. So what's happening, yeah, is that you know, I've been looking on Twitter, I've been looking on Facebook, I've been looking on all sorts of websites, and you know, they're just not getting, the mainstream are just not getting any traction with this at all. All they're getting is a load of abuse, calling out the big club's tactics, which, you know, are very, very predictable, aren't they? You know, once you actually realise that the world isn't as you thought it was, and that these people who are supposed to have your best interests at heart have the very opposite, they want you 6 foot under, their tactics become laughably predictable. So you know exactly what they're going to do, and basically people are just pummeling them. So again, this is good news, I believe, because their ability to kind of manipulate us and to get us to do things that are going to harm us, it's that their power is dropping off very, very quickly now. And remember that these Satanists, they operate according to natural law. So they're only allowed to harm us if we consent to it. So what they want us to do is to rush off and get some more visits into the Britney Spears and the boosters for these for this thing that Sausage Fingers allegedly has. So if people laugh at it and say, no way, Jose, well then their plans fall apart, because, as I say, they require on us consenting to our own demise. And that's it. The genie's out of the bottle now, isn't it? Or they say, like in economics, the toothpaste is out of the tube. And once the toothpaste is out of the tube, it's not going back in again. And that's basically what's happened here with them, is that they rolled the dice back in March 2020 with D91. It worked for a while, but then what happened was that people learnt. Some people had to go through a tougher learning process than others, but people learnt. And now that's it. No more trust. They're gone. They're finished. And I also saw another thing in the newspapers today, like politicians moaning about how unpopular they are with the general public and how they might need more protection. Protection from whom? Well, protection from the general public. So it's over for these guys. They know it. And this is just, another way of looking at what's happened with this sausage fingers. It's just it's a bit like a parent with those of you who are parents will probably have done this, and it's not great, but sometimes I must admit I have done it as well. Where your kids doing something wrong or whatever, you want them to stop. So the easiest way to get them to stop is just to distract them with something else. Take their attention away from what you don't want them to do to something that you would like them to do. It's not good doing stuff like that because it's manipulative. So it's kind of immoral, and I regret doing that as a parent. But this is what these guys do. This is what they do. And basically we've sussed them out. So I'm actually walking on the sea here. Can you see there's some islands over there in the distance? There's a Mocky, a summer house there, right on the shore, ideal for swimming. And then you've got this big bay. And we've got a beautiful blue sky. And I think other things as well that I sort of thought about in this regard was that if you went back in time to, let's say, even autumn of 2020, back then, I used to go to the same sort of websites, this conservative woman, I used to read a couple of webs forums, pretty like, for normies, basically, just normie stuff. Facebook, there's this website called Nextdoor. So I used to live in Bramley, so I was like, look on that. And basically at that time, I would say that if anyone tried to criticise the narrative back at that stage, they would be swamped maybe at a ratio of 8 posts to 1 with, oh, you're just a stupid tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, you should just trust the government, or if they've made a mistake, it's just a cock-up. And what I would say now is that there are hardly any of these normies left. You won't find anybody on Twitter who's offering, who's taking this story about sausage fingers seriously. They're all calling it out. And then the other big giveaway is for things like BBC or Sly News on Facebook and on Twitter, is that and also politicians too, their posts, a lot of them, they don't get any engagement, they don't get any upticks. All they get is just loads of posts from people like me just ripping the mickey out of them and just calling out their nonsense. Oh, and one last thing is, just to be absolutely clear, is that I wish no ill will on anybody. I don't want anybody to contract diseases that they die for. I don't wish anybody to put a curse on anyone, not even sausage fingers, as I say, because that's not my place to do any of that. That's God's place to do it. So if Sausage Fingers does have this, well, I don't wish him any ill will at all. No matter what great deeds of evil he's actively supported and promoted, God can deal with that. As the Bible says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And, in the Lord's Prayer, thy will be done. So let God's will be done. here on earth and in heaven. So yeah, that's all I want to say today. So God bless.